Greetings and salutation, life gainers. It's your host, Lamont Tyson, doing my best Oprah impersonation, and what my wife calls it, poor Oprah. And on today's show, I have a very special guest here in the Triad, self-made businesswoman, a woman responsible for putting millions in profits in people's businesses and their organizations. She specializes in marketing. She's given me some insight. And if you're doing business in Greensboro, you need to meet this woman. We're going to hear her story. Lady Bizness.
Hi there.
How you doing today?
Thank you. I sound really impressive, so that's good.
Yeah, sound. There is a great track record around here about you, young lady.
It is a good track record, but I think it's a good track record because I have a passion for what I do, and I like to help other people with their businesses and see what their vision is and kind of sculpt it and then say, okay, go forth, and now there you have it.
So explain to the people what has gotten you to this point and what has made you so successful in helping other organizations here in Greensboro.
Well, okay, so it's a long story, but let me give you the short version. I started officially with Lady Bizness in 2010. That's when I incorporated. And from that time frame, I knew that I wanted to help other people. I loved education. I loved communication and marketing. And my background as far as school goes, I went to Elon. And so I had a corporate communications degree from there. And then I went to University of Phoenix and got my MBA for business administration. And I think that one of the things that I always was able to ascertain was how to look at things from a different perspective.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have all of the book knowledge, but sometimes you have to apply it to the real world.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what it is taking it from your basic core concepts of, you know, just running a business, marketing, branding, all of that, and then saying, how can you make it unique for each individual? So I think, to me, that's probably been the thing that's helped me to be the most successful, is being able to look at things from a lot of different perspectives, and then to really tailor things to the individual, because everybody doesn't need the same thing.
Right. Now, you specialize in marketing, but when someone hires you, you do a whole lot more than marketing. You've done business plans and a whole lot of other things to make people successful. Tell the people a little bit more about what your scope of practice is when you get involved with helping them become successful.
Sure. Well, when I work with the individual person, what my goal is to really see where you want to be. So the first question that I always ask everybody, and this is for you out there too, listeners, is what are your top 3 goals that you have for your business? And that just stumbles people. They get stuck right there with that first question. But if you don't know what your goals are, how am I really going to help you to obtain those goals?
Right.
So asking them that, and one question that I always ask, which I think sometimes people leave out, is how much do you want to make? People, that question is like a deer in the headlights. They really don't know that. And the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to have goals, and they have to be measurable. And if money is always, of course, with business, a goal that you want to achieve, we need to know how much you want to make.
Absolutely.
Because then that helps me to backtrack and tell you, you know, how many clients you need to get, or how many products you need to sell. You know, how many hours do you want to work in a week? Those are questions that people just usually are stunned. They can't answer those things at first. So once we start working together and we see what your goals are, then I'm able to really create either a marketing plan, or we do some type of consultation or hands-on activities to really help your business grow, depending on what the needs are for your business.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I could say that I think is really excellent about the way that we've been able to work, or I've been able to work with people, is if you come to one session and you decide that you don't want to be in business, or that you're not ready, I've done my job. Because it's not easy to be in business all the time. And if a person can say, wow, I really didn't think about all of that, let me see if I'm really ready to do this, that's when it makes a difference. So I actually like to not help people get in business if I see that they're not ready for it.
Right.
But once they are, then the goal is to really say, okay, well, let's make the best plan for you, and then go from there.
Along with helping me out, name some of the other organizations that you have helped reach success. A few of them.
Well, my main organization that I love with everything is the GTCC Small Business Center. Now, one thing that I could say is when you work for the small business centers, you don't have to do any of your own marketing. You don't have to do anything extra. And that's just because you get a contract and they tell you when to be there to teach your classes, and you know, you do the materials and everything, but you don't have to do anything extra. However, I feel like if you're going to pay me, it is my job and my duty to make sure that people know when the classes are, where they're at, and all of them for the most part are free. And so GTCC, helping them with their marketing, that to me has been like the biggest turnaround, because I could see that there were classes before that had very very low attendance, and usually those are the financial classes.
Right.
Even though everybody needs the finances, they seem to like want to steer away from those. So to me, that's been the biggest improvement, is being able to make sure that this year, for the most part, every class that I have usually has double digits as far as people attending, and having a consistent rate of new people that come in every month.
Yes, ma'am.
Because our series, it repeats every month except for December. So we do the same series 11 times a year, but every month we're able to make sure that we have people in there to fill those seats. And the crazy thing about that is North Carolina requires them to only do the classes 4 times a year.
Right.
But Guilford County has enough demand to do them 11 times a year.
Oh, wow.
And consistently have people attend these classes. So even though, I mean, it's kind of the opposite because they pay me, so technically they're not a client.
Right.
Technically, you know, I'm the one that's working for them, but I see a great value in people being able to get access to the information and being able to help them increase their attendance.
Right.
Is something that I absolutely love, and I enjoy that more than probably anything else.
Well, even though you're getting paid, in essence, what you're doing is help spur economic development, and you help people avoid barriers if they're not ready to go in business. And so that by itself adds an extra value, not just to the community college, but the community itself.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do around here. Greensboro just got voted the number 9 best place to start a business as of this week.
I saw that. And I'm just like, you know what? That lets you know that we're doing our jobs. Because if it wasn't a great place as far as the community activities that are here, the system that's already in place, because I can tell you just from experience, going to other cities and working for other, even the community colleges, they don't have, in a lot of places, the infrastructure that we have here, where the Chamber of Commerce works with the Small Business Center, with
Absolutely.
the SCORE and the SBTDC. And we have an infrastructure that's built for that. So one thing that I would suggest for anybody, if you're in a different area, is to really take into consideration the commonalities that you have, finding out where you overlap and don't overlap, and being able to let everybody be a resource, because then this way you're able to say, okay, well, I can't help you, but this person can help you with that, as opposed to, oh, we don't do it. And that's one of the things that Greensboro is really adamant about, is everybody communicating and finding out what's going on.
Right.
So whether that is the community college system, or like, let's say they have a, you know, similar to a small business center at UNCG, A&T has their own set of things. So all of us are able to communicate and really find out what's going on, and not necessarily duplicate events.
Right.
Not try to schedule things at the same time, but just to be conscious of that and to put forth the best effort to work together. And I think that that's one of the strengths that Greensboro definitely has over probably a lot of other communities.
Absolutely. Well, everybody has their niche in what they do. And now I'm going to talk about one of her strongest niches in her business. If you don't have a social media presence, this young lady will get you one with style, flair, and appeal in the best, most creative, professional manner as possible. Talk about how you're able to do that with these businesses.
Well, what I first look at is, who are your customers? Because once I see who your customers are, then that means you might need to be located on certain platforms, one over another. I always want to find out, too, what are you using currently? And so if your answer is, I'm not using anything, that's the problem, and we need to fix that immediately. Because the thing is, your customer can be on all of the platforms, none of them, some, but either way, there are people out there that want to buy your product. And so if you definitely have a tangible product for people to sell, it's no reason that you only look in your backyard, only look in your city. You have to think about becoming a global brand. And for you to do that, that means you have to make it as easy as possible for people to pay you. You need to be accessible for them. And so I think that one of the biggest things is taking social media and saying, okay, what's the type of voice that you want to have? You know, do you want to talk in first person? Are you funny? Is it a little dry humor? I mean, what are those things? Is it just more so educational resources that you want to put out there? And one of the things that I follow is like the 80-20 rule. And so that's typically where you put 80% is helpful, informative things, and then 20% of it is more so your sales and, you know, kind of buy now and this is what I'm offering. And I think that no matter what kind of company you have, that is a very good way for you to look at things, because nobody wants to be with somebody that's like sell, buy all
Absolutely.
the time. So, you know, but you still have to do that. But I think that people having a consistent presence and making sure that they honestly, and this may sound crazy, but actually market your business every day. right? You want customers every day, so that means you need to market your business every day. And I think that's one of the biggest things is that people are like, oh, when I'm having an event, I'll go ahead and start the marketing, or, oh, we're having a sale, so we'll start the marketing. It needs to be something that you really are diligent at every day, and putting things in place to make it easier for people is, to me, one of the strengths of what we do at Lady Bizness.
Absolutely. Well, guys, you know I get goosebumps when I sit around such successful people here in the town. I try to get some of their energy, and I really don't ever want to let them go from these interviews, but we're going to go ahead and get her on the off-ramp. So, Lady Bizness, tell the people how they can reach out to you, how they can find you on social media, and how they can do business with you.
Okay, so everything is Lady Bizness, LadyBizness. And if you're looking, like if you go on Facebook, it's Lady Bizness Inc. So Facebook.com/Lady Bizness Inc. INC. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, it's Lady Bizness. If you go to my blog, it's ladybizness.wordpress.com. And my website, of course, is ladybizness.com. So there's plenty of places to connect, and I look forward to meeting you guys online.
Well, guys, you heard it here first from one of the Triad's best. If you're doing a new business, or you have an existing business and you need a great evaluation, need your marketing done, or you just want to get your numbers higher, come talk to the First Lady of Business here in the Triad. And Lady Bizness, we thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tyson.
You've been an excellent guest today. I think I've just got some of your business energy.
Good.
Guys,
early in the morning.
Don't forget to like that video, comment, subscribe. Go out there and get yourself a life game and hire the First Lady of Business.